we need to talk about England. We really need to talk about England. For that first game against Iran in Qatar in November 2022, what would be your starting lineup? How would you set it up? Who would you start? Who would you bench? Let's hear it, man.
Yeah, so I mean, there are a lot of players like that not in form at the moment, and it's a shame because I'd want to have sort of taken them, but obviously that they're just not playing well enough. Nick Pope, interestingly, did get called up, but his distribution didn't look that good the other day. So I still think I'd probably just stay with Jordan Pickford. So I'd go Jordan Pickford at the back, in net. Sorry, I'd go Reece James, John Stones, Tyrone Mings, and Luke Shaw left back. There's a shout for Tomori in there as well, but at the moment I'd probably go Stones and Mings. In midfield, I'd have a two of Declan Rice and Jude Bellingham. I know Rahil's going to be happy hearing that one, but no, he's a massive talent, and you can see why teams are after him, looking to pay these large sums of money. Then I've got a fluid three in front of that, so they could easily rotate, and that would cause a lot of problems for the opposition of Saka, Foden, and Sterling. And then I'd have Kane up top.
I would go somewhat similar. First of all, I think that team's pretty good as well. But my change, I'd go from the back. Jordan Pickford at the back. I think you have to go for Kyle Walker. I think you then have to go for John Stones, Fikayo Tomori, and I'm not going to go for what Southgate wants. This is what I want. I would like to see Luke Shaw given a go as well, because I don't think Ben Chilwell's
not ready. Yeah,
he's definitely not ready. We haven't seen it this season as well, and with Cucurella coming in as well, Cucurella's got the nod over him a good number of times at Chelsea, and with Graham Potter as their new manager as well, I expect it to stay the same. And I don't think I'd like to see Kieran Trippier at left back as well, but I definitely want a back four. I do want Jude Bellingham, and I do want Declan Rice as my hold-in too. My three in as attack would be a bit different. So I would go Saka on the right. I would go Sterling on the left, but I'd like to see Mason Mount in there as well. Mason Mount personally, because he does offer a lot more pressing from the front as well. He does a lot more of the dogged work that a lot of people don't see, and they don't tend to appreciate as well. So in these long tournaments, in the group stages, I feel like we'll have the majority of the ball against Wales, against Iran, and against the USA. But it's in these bigger games as well where I think we won't have a lot of the ball. You want to win it back first. I think Mason Mount is crucial in there, and that's why I see Mason Mount as a key integral part as an attacking midfielder for me. And then obviously Harry Kane has to be the man that starts up front as well, who would eventually drop back and let Sterling fly forward, Saka fly forward, Kyle Walker fly forward.
Yeah, but he's quite good. He's quite good at linking that play. But I was just going to mention, I'd have somebody like Grealish would be going there. He'd probably be a starter for me if he hasn't been this bad as he has at City. You've got Jadon Sancho, another player that who can obviously recreate, if he can recreate his form that he showed at Dortmund.
I'd take Sancho over Bowen, and I'd take Rashford over whatever other attacker we've got.
But we've still got Tammy, and we've still got Ivan Toney as well. Those two are quality players that need to be taken out as well. When you want to change things up.
I don't think Toney would go. I think if you had Rashford in there, he could also play as a striker, and he has been playing as a striker for Man United. Yeah. So you could have a utility striker up front, and you have Tammy Abraham as that second backup striker to Harry Kane. I don't see Watkins going, and I don't see Ivan Toney going as well.
I'm not sure about for Watkins and for Danny Ings either. I think if it was Watkins after the season before last year, I definitely would have taken him, as he can. He's quite flexible. He can play off the wings. Even Ezri Konsa, the way he was playing before, but he's sort of dropped off form a bit.
Yeah, it's like Conor Gallagher not getting into the English squad anymore because he's dropped off in form since going back to Chelsea.
But if there was one player that I'd definitely take as a wildcard kind of player, especially somebody that we can bring on, no matter what score, winning, losing, or drawing, it'd have to be James Ward-Prowse. I feel like he's got a lot of energy in him. He can so much stamina, and also like quality on the ball. People just think he's a set piece merchant, which he's a specialist, but there's a lot more that his game does bring, and could really help us win those midfield battles.
I think mine's not a wild card. I think it's just one of those that just gets omitted all the time. James Maddison. I think obviously with his behavioural issues in the last time he was in the squad, that's why he still hasn't come back into the squad as well. But I'm thinking, you know what? James Maddison would be someone who does offer something a bit different attackingly as well. I know we've got Mount, Grealish and Foden that can play as an attacking midfielder, and obviously Harry Kane dropping back. But I think still he would be able to pick some of the gaps as well. I know we've got a 26-man squad I think we have for the World Cup as well. So it kind of goes to
sure.
show who I think we would have available going forward as well. There's no guarantee that Calvin Phillips will be there, so James Ward-Prowse could end up being another player going forward as well. But I'm seeing the likes of like Mark Guehi being mentioned, Connor Cody as well. There's the talk of Trent and Reece James who you want to go for, but I think you can't mess about with what Kyle Walker's done for England. He is a tried and trusted guy as well. We aren't going to talk about Harry Maguire because I don't want to talk about Harry Maguire. It's a positive talking conversation today, so we will leave it out as well. But I am really upset. I do have to say I'm really upset that Emile Smith-Rowe has been ruled out of the World Cup as well. I thought he was a bright young talent as well going forward, but obviously injured until